Hello, Founder fam. We are back with another episode of Founder Unfiltered. I just got to Lisbon as of yesterday, and I'm currently recording from Lisbon after spending 8 weeks in Madrid. And this story is, over the past almost 3 months, has been a bit of an emotional roller coaster. I'm not going to lie, like, as somebody who's been a founder for 6 years, and only recently have thought of myself as a founder, although that's exactly what I am, and sharing my messy middle as I've made the decision to live abroad and further built my business from international seas. And there are times when I feel not understood, or where I feel doubted, or where I feel I don't want to say lonely in the sense of like traveling around as a solo female. I actually never feel lonely from that regard, but lonely in the sense of like the people who are the closest to me and who love me don't often understand me or my decision making or my choices. And I think that's the part that can feel lonely as a founder. And also, from the lens of what I want to share the most this week for those of us who are founders, is that reminder of just how important it is to find a community of like minded people. And I thought about this the other night so after the 8 weeks of living in Madrid, my sublet term, which was exactly 2 months, came to an end, and I was scrambling to find a new place. And end of April, early May is a really tough time in Madrid to find a place because it's just become spring. The weather has just become really nice and warm, but not too hot. And so what's happening is that landlords are often scrambling to fill long-term leases. And I'm not in a position yet to fill a long-term lease because I don't know where I'm going to be by the end of the summer. And as I go through this visa process, which hopefully will turn out for the best, I mean, eventually it will. I'll keep submitting until I get it, but I haven't submitted it yet. And so I didn't want to lock into a lease. And so what happens is when you're looking for short term leases as a tourist visa or under a tourist visa, it can be a little more challenging. And the Airbnb market in Madrid is like over the top crazy right now. So I didn't want to go that route. And so it left me stuck between what they call a rock and a hard place. Now, my mom went through, I guess I would say, a bit of a freak out period. And I was able to recognize that what she was doing was freaking out for my safety because she's not a traveler. She doesn't travel abroad. And where I think those of us who do travel abroad, like we get it, we know what to do in like sticky situations. We know there's always another option. For my mom, I think in her mind, everything was like, oh my God, my daughter's going to be stuck somewhere. She's going to be out on the street with her dog, la, 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 la. She had all these things going on. And I'm like, Mom, it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. And essentially what ended up happening was she's like, well, why do you have to live like a vagabond? Why do you have to live this way? Why can't you just like create a home for yourself? And I'm like, lady, as an adult, I've been creating a home for myself for 20 plus years. And now I want to find my next home. I want to find the next place where I can like build my brand and build my business and have it be from a place of fulfillment. And LA served that for many years. I lived in LA for almost 15 years. And now I want to explore and find that next place. And so there was this misunderstanding that was happening. Um, and it felt not good in the moment. Like it felt like she didn't understand that, like, I'm not just roaming around like a vagabond, just roaming aimlessly and senselessly. It's like I have a plan to this. There's no roaming. There's picking cities that speak to me, like Lima last summer and Madrid, and seeing how I feel there. And that's why I commit to usually 2 to 3 months of a sublet or an Airbnb. And when she used that word vagabond, I've done a lot of work on myself. I've been in therapy on and off for many years, to just come from a lens of self growth and self enhancement. I've done Lacey Phillips to be magnetic now since 2020. I've done the artist way twice. Like I'm very self-aware. I would say I'm somebody that is constantly self-evolving. And so I think she didn't trigger me, but it definitely had me thinking about that word vagabond and any like shadow I might have felt around that. And I think as somebody who is a founder, and I'm sure if you're a founder and you've connected with me through here, you get it. It's like it's like that feeling of being misunderstood when we're going for our dreams. And part of our dreams should include where we want to live so that we can best be the best business owner and developer of new ideas as possible. And for me, a lot of that does have to do with my environment. And that's why I have been, for the past year, making the commitment to explore different cities to figure out what feels right for me. And so I think that misunderstanding of like being called a vagabond, I think it further solidifies the importance of having a community when you're building something new or when you're seeking something, um, and you feel yourself so close to it and it's like right there. And when you find communities of people who are seekers, who are digital nomads, who are wanting to live their business remotely and in a very non-traditional way, it's very important for the sake of our mental health to find like-minded individuals. And our families um, are not always those people. Like they will love you, they will be there for you. Whenever I've gotten myself in pickles, like my parents have certainly been people that I've called and asked for help out of it. And the funny thing is, my dad, he's a bit different. He was much more. The word isn't relaxed, but I think he was like, she'll figure it out. Like this dynamic of like not finding a place, and I was like up on the end of this sublet. He was coming from the I want to say the certainty that like my daughter is smart, she's very well traveled, she's been international many times. I think I've now visited 23 countries, and he's traveled with me through some of the countries. We went to Italy together a couple summers ago, and then last summer he visited me while I was living in Lima. So his reaction was very different than my mom's. Like I think he gets it in a way that my mom doesn't. And that's fine too. There's no right or wrong. But there is self-awareness, there is self-illusion, self-evolution, and there is definitely like finding those people who get it and who are living a similar life than you or life as you, so that like you don't feel loneliness. Because the last thing anybody wants, especially when they're building, especially when they're seeking new homes and figuring out where do they next want to commit their life, is to also feel isolated. Like that doesn't feel good for anybody. And so as I share this founder series and through my lens, I think that's the biggest takeaway for this Founder Unfiltered episode for this week, is that reminder of like finding community and safety in community and feeling seen and understood in community. And as much as people will say, oh, like, no, I can do this on my own. Like, yeah, we can all do this on our own, but it also feels good. And I think it's a bit of a support system that can help us mentally, emotionally, and spiritually to also find people going through something similar. It's funny, the undervaluing that we place on feeling misunderstood. Like I think that's very undervalued. And especially as a founder and people who are seeking things that not a lot of other people in our circles that seeking things that not a lot of other people in our circles seek, it's even more important to find those communities or those pockets of people and communities that like have similarities or similar goals or move about life in the world in similar ways. So that's what I have to share this week from my messy middle of Founder Unfiltered. I'll be back again with another episode. Bye, guys. Stay blessed and stay comforted. Bye.